How are
We're
you,
just
Gio? Oh my gosh. It's a loaded question, isn't it?
It is such a loaded question. Just being in the United States, and I'm going to be very, very diplomatic about things.
Hmm.
Just with all the stuff that's happening in the world, it's a lot, and then I just have like a lot going on personally and professionally that is kind of weird. That is weird and heartbreaking. So, Yun, that is my.
Yeah, such a loaded question. It's been a crazy year.
It's
You
been a
already
very.
talked about three things already in that one paragraph that you said. We talked about, the political landscape, as a whole being here in the
I
US.
didn't even say that word.
Okay,
I
you didn't.
I didn't say
Sorry.
that. I was being very diplomatic. I didn't even say
Okay,
that word.
diplomat. Well, but we
um,
know what we're talking about. But also,
know
you
what we're
said
talking about.
personally and professionally,
Yeah,
right?
person.
Things that are going. So
Yeah.
I guess in today's podcast, I was really curious to ask about number one. So you're a filmmaker,
Mhm.
and we've met at the filmmaking event in LA, and we are
Yeah.
surrounded by so many other Filipino American filmmakers, creatives. So maybe I'll just start by asking your thoughts on the state of the film industry. I mean, there's so many things that happened in the past. What are your thoughts on it right now in 2025?
I think that the all of the strikes kind of dampened everything in Los Angeles, specifically. And a lot of the productions are moving overseas because it's cheaper and because, like a lot of they're the big production companies are gonna want to save money, so that's why they do that. It like travels to the more of the global market, and I understand that from a business perspective, but it breaks my heart as an artist. Also, like I'm trying to figure out ways how to make independent film a little bit more feasible. I've been very lucky in that even in the last few years when a lot of the industry is halted, I did a feature film and I did
Hmm.
a series that I'm currently doing right now. And I think it's just because of, tenacity,
Hmm.
that yeah. And I personally don't like waiting for the industry to tell me what to do or who I can be. So I try to, figure out ways where I can create the stories that I want to see.
So, I mean, those are all good conversations, right? So, do you feel that, you know, right now things are picking up? If there's the indie world, you were able to make things happen. You
Yeah.
have, you were successful, you have a future project, which I want to talk to you about as well.
I
But
don't know
maybe,
how much I could talk about that, but I will try. I will try,
okay.
I think because I've been doing the acting thing since like 2003. Like I got
Hmm.
my first role on ER and I've been very lucky, but there was not enough representation to make it like sustainable. So that's
Hmm.
why I went to teaching for a long time and occasionally did the acting thing when I could get the work. And I was very grateful for the work that I got. Um, and I'm very grateful that there is more series like the Avatar: The Last Airbender, where they actually cast Asian people in the
Yeah.
roles as opposed to like white people playing roles that are supposed to be Asian. So I'm very thankful for that's changing in the industry. I'm very thankful for like the rise of when Crazy Rich Asians came out, like
Hmm.
that changed for me. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Asian Americans in the mainstream media. So I
Hmm.
do think that it's changing for, for more diversity in film. I know I can't say that word because otherwise the federal government will not let me. But
We're gonna use that in this podcast. Amongst our
thank you.
groups.
Yes,
I still use it. Still believe in diversity.
I do
You
too.
know,
Diversity, equity, inclusion. Anytime, like the people that were wrong in history, they've always been against that. And like, I wish that people could see that, like, and not just use the initials DEI because that makes
Mhm.
it sound like bad, like we're dying or something.
Right?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important. And how can you be against those things? Oh, I
Yeah.
know how. If you're a white supremacist, that's how. You know what I mean? But inclusion means so much more than just like, you know,
Hmm.
the color of our skin. It also includes disabilities. It also includes, things like that. The people that are neurodivergent. There's so much more than just race about that. Sorry, I got on my soapbox about that. I don't
No,
know.
it was one of the things I want to talk about because it's something that we have to talk about, right? Because it is all around us, like it's a new era, right? 2025. It's hard not to talk about it,
It's
like
so hard to not talk. And our identities are political. I'm an immigrant. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like you're an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. A lot of Filipinos are. And how can I not talk about that?
yeah.
How can I not talk about the fact that, it has been hard being Filipino in this industry because we're not Asian enough. And
Mhm,
sometimes we get looped in with Latinos and you know
mhm,
what I mean? Like there's like that weird thing that you're not enough of one thing and then there are not enough stories being made. And not just the stories aren't being made, they're not being funded. See, that's a thing.
mhm.
Is
Yeah.
the funding of everything is where everything happens. That's why it's like I know that the federal government is not going to fund me if I say the word diversity. So I'm trying to think about what are other words that I can use in
Mhm.
grant things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like variety. How do we get around this? Do we say variety? All the
Although we have to pick up a thesaurus or a dictionary to come up with
yeah,
different terminologies
different
because
words.
in practice we're really just out there to celebrate our differences,
Mhm.
and that can be in terms of our experiences, in terms of
Yeah.
our ethnicity, and it's part of who we are.
Yeah.
So I guess if we can just stay on that topic for a little bit, and I do want to focus on what can we do to, I guess, contribute positively so
Yeah.
that we can maybe are willing to listen. So I
Yeah.
guess in your opinion, like how can we sort of move forward, with knowing that things are happening the way that they are? Um,
My thoughts about that is honestly don't stop creating and
mhm,
encouraging people to tell their stories and the stories that they want to see and be a part of to create those, and also for people to support those stories even if it's not perfect. The thing is that I see a lot in our community, in the Filipino community. There's a lot of still crab mentality, and
mhm.
I'm trying to understand like the historical reasons behind that. And it's like, oh, okay, because we were colonized so much that if we put somebody else down, then we get to be closer to the other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that has been in our DNA for such a long time, over 300 years of colonization from from Spain will
Mhm.
already make us like look at each other suspiciously, which is so sad, right? And like that's why I'm like, no, even if it's imperfect, if somebody is out there making a Filipino story or making a story that you may not agree 100% of with it or whatever, but support it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, absolutely.
or at least don't talk poop about it. Because you don't know, like the general population doesn't know how hard it is to even get something made. You know,
Absolutely.
they don't know, like, and so like you're gonna rag on it because of one little like a 5-minute scene in there that you don't like think was
Mhm.
amazing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or you're
Exactly.
or like, my tita's not like that. I don't know where they got that from. And I'm like, well, your tita may not have been like that, but their tita might have been. So let's give grace to like the different stories that are out there. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah. Totally agree with you. And you know what? I was clapping. I was really, like, yes, please, tell me more because that's exactly what we need to do. And you really touch on sort of two things, right? One, you talked about keep creating, which is a great message. And then you talk about what can we do as a community, particularly within our Filipino American community, and that is to support. And not many people are doing that for whatever reason. So if anyone's listening to this, please support your friends, check out our work.
yeah,
And you actually, that resonated with me so much, just how difficult it is to put something out there. it takes a lot. So
Not
yeah,
only does it take guts and courage to put your heart and soul out there just as a creative thing, but the logistics of putting everything together and like gathering the
yeah.
people and putting it together. Like you don't know all the things that happen behind the scenes to even like make it happen. You don't know all of the little like fighty fight things that are happening or where you have to stand up for yourself because somebody's trying to like take things over.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm following you on social media. I'm not gonna ask you anything that you are not interested in sharing. And I can edit things out,
Right, right,
but
right.
it's things that we deal with sometimes, right? Sometimes it's part of a learning process. Sometimes we can all maybe learn from it
Yeah.
and maybe just hopefully that will help us in the next venture.
No, I could talk about certain things and I could talk about things that I have learned that,
Mhm.
creators might want to think about, for the future. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So about that one, I'm actually so curious. Is that something we can see eventually, or
Which one? Because I have several different
the love one? Yeah.
love and karma and the drama.
Yes. Love and karma.
I really hope so. I honestly hope
Okay.
so because not only did my cast and crew work their butts off
Hmm.
making that movie. It's such a cute film, and Belinda and JoJo's performances deserve to be honored, and they
Yeah.
just like I've had a 90-minute edit since I think November of 2023
Oh,
ready to go.
really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy pants town. But like JoJo and Belinda's performances, like I was, telling not only them, but also the producers, like they need deserve to be nominated for awards for their performances.
Hmm.
Also, it's like, so I hope that people get to see it. It's in a messy place right now,
Hmm.
because of a lot of different reasons. I'm very like when I do things, I'm very like buy the book. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like I'm very, very
Yeah.
much that. But yeah, there's just like a lot of things that happened when we wrapped that it was just like, wait, what? What?
Hmm.
What? And I saw little red flags beforehand, but I didn't know enough about the industry to like know about that or
Hmm.
to be aware of that. So now I know.
Yeah. I wish you the best. I mean, I hope that we get a chance to see it because I know you've worked so hard on this project. Is
Mhm.
there anything maybe you can share as an advice, for
Yeah.
other creatives,
Filmmaker.
filmmakers? Yeah.
But one of the biggest things, lessons that I'm learning is that you need to really have a team that wants to make sure that you all want the same vision, right? So there
Hmm.
were, things that happened where it's like, like, and you hear about these stories and you never think that it's going to happen to you, right? Like,
Hmm.
because the story is about a Filipina that goes back to the Philippines to go to her high school reunion and she reconnects with her childhood love. It's such a cute story.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Did
such a
you
cute
film?
story.
Did you film in the Philippines or?
We were supposed to, like
Okay.
that was originally it was originally supposed to be filmed in the Philippines and the United States and Bali. Like that was the
Hmm.
scope of it. It was supposed to be like this really
Hmm.
grand sweeping romance, but things happened. And
Okay.
there were things from like, and I don't know who said it, but it filtered down into the conversations where it was like, can we make the lead white? Can she be
Oh,
adopted? Can we make this into a Christmas movie? You know what I mean? Like
okay. Got it.
creative conversations like that were kind of like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
In the beginning. And then
You're you're
also,
like in you're like in day two of your shoot schedule, and then
no,
things
it was
were.
like before that, like after the script was already written, these were conversations that were happening. And I was like, this is very interesting. And then
Gotcha.
another thing is that make sure you do your due diligence.
Hmm.
Where, yeah, just make sure that you do your due diligence. I wish I had not been so trusting sometimes. And make sure that you get everything in writing. That's something that actually saved me. And we redlined everything. And thank goodness for that because it had that not happened, I would have no rights, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I know that was that must have been a lot to go through,
Still is. Oh my gosh, it still
and
is.
it still is.
Still
And
is.
thanks for actually sharing, a little bit about that, and also some advice. I mean, it's really good advice, to make sure
Yeah.
to protect yourself and document, even though, yeah,
Crazy. You know what I mean? Just in general, like in the industry, people are really cutthroat. And I
yeah,
didn't ex I don't know why I didn't expect that. I think I didn't expect that because I was like, oh, this is a Filipino movie. How beautiful. Like community,
hmm
how beautiful. And I didn't expect that because I was just, I don't know. I think I went into it very much like doe-eyed and like, yay, we're gonna tell a story about love. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. So we are here with GIO Espiritu. Do you go by Gio or Giovanni?
I go by Giovanni. I
G.
don't,
Okay.
yeah, like I don't
Okay.
mind as long as it's said nicely.
Nicely. Yeah. And not like Gio,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But I actually don't know if you're based in Vegas or LA. I never asked you that before.
Yeah, so I go back and forth. I
Hmm
moved to Vegas in the pandemic, and I'm
hmm
working on a series here, so I'm here. You know what I mean? And like the Vegas thing is it's a lot cheaper here to be
Yeah.
real, to be absolutely real. It's not that I don't love LA. Like LA has like super creative people and it
hmm
really cute neighborhoods and stuff, but I am kind of an introvert. So being in Vegas, not on the strip, I don't really go to the
hmm
strip very much. It's kind of like suburb life, but also
hmm
it's a lot cheaper where, I had a one bedroom apartment in Glendale with my kid.
So are they I guess building up the entertainment
Oh
infrastructure
yeah.
in Vegas? Okay.
Like Vegas is actually really interesting because you have like it's entertainment capital of the world, but not film wise, right? It's like all the shows
hmm
come here. You have like I could see like world, like
Yeah.
beautiful shows here in Vegas. Everybody comes through here. You have comedians, you have improv, you have circus people, and you have the burlesque community here. So it's like a
hmm
really interesting like combination of creatives. The film industry is still a little bit like fledgling, but
hmm
Sony and I think Warner Brothers have pledged to make a studio in Summerlin.
Yeah.
So the Warner Brothers studio is like coming, or they just, or they're trying to pass a law to bring it here.
hmm
There's a lot of like not commercial but like industrial film stuff here because a lot of the conventions come here, so a lot of like the gaffers and the camera people and the lighting people, they have work all the time, right? So
Yeah.
that's because it's like event production and recording talking heads and recording like live events for these like shows that come in. So there's a
hmm
lot of work here, but narrative film is still kind of like coming up there. You know what I mean?
Got
Narrative
it. Yep.
indie film is still like a thing.
Yeah.
It's
So what is your game plan for summer this year? Are you staying at somewhere else or
I don't know yet. I don't even know what's happening in the world. You know what I
in the
mean?
world?
My brain is like, maybe I can get a dual citizenship in the Philippines. You know what I mean? Like,
I did that.
oh, did you do that?
I
Okay.
did. Yeah. I
Hard?
mean, I had no. I mean, it's fine. It's just a paperwork. You have to go to the embassy, and I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of it, and I guess just so you have options or something. I
Yeah.
haven't really used it as much. I guess I traveled last year, and one benefit is, you can, what is that? Like you can stay longer in the Philippines,
Yeah. So
because you're
I,
you're local. Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe in order to avoid the Las Vegas heat, I will go.
Go to
I
the
don't
Philippines.
know.
Well, how often do you go? How do you have family there or?
I do have family there. I hadn't been back in 8 or 9 years, and I went back. I think it wasn't last year. It was 2023. I think
Got
is when.
it.
And
Okay.
I saw my mom and my Lola for the first 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah. All the Filipino connection and how we can all be supportive of each other in the creative world. The crab mentality, is that getting better, you think? Or how can we
I
change
hope
that?
so.
Yeah.
I don't know how to change it, honestly. I don't know. I have no idea. But what I'm trying to do to keep my heart and soul safe is trying to figure out or trying to just be in spaces where I know that I can celebrate people and be celebrated. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like really curate my own circle of friends, especially after like what happened. Like,
But
yeah.
I guess let's talk about your creative background. We talked about that movie already, but I know you have so many other projects. There's one right now that I am hoping I can see also, which is a
I'm gonna
series.
send it to you. So it's
So yeah.
Yeah, it's called Made to Shine, and I can send like the sneak peek is already out on the Roku channel. You go to the Roku if you have a Roku, you look for the Film TV app, and you can
Okay.
watch the sneak peek. It's called Made to Shine. It's about Filipina maid in the service
Yeah.
industry in Las. That is a big part of the service industry in Las Vegas, and she's a maid and she's a single mom. I wonder why, but she meets this Filipino pop star and they have this romance, you know.
Oh,
So,
nice.
like all of my soul goes into the things that I
Yeah.
make.
That was actually my question, Gio, is more your inspiration for it and how did it get started? How it got started rather.
It's in the sneak peek, but I'll give you like a little, overview. So, Esmeralda Padilla Gould, who is from
Mhm.
the Padilla family, she's the vice president of the Film TV network, and she interviewed me on her show because I think, I don't know, I don't remember how she found out about me, but anyway, she interviewed me for her show. She watched the Magpakailanman episode of me
Mm.
before she interviewed me. She knew a lot about me, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then after the show, she invited me out to lunch. She was like, I want you to pitch our president with four, just whatever. Like they want to do horror films, they want to do a game show, they want to do a talk show, and they
Mhm.
want to do a series. So I was like, okay. So I actually pitched them four horror films, a game show, a talk show, and the series,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It was a 4-hour pitch.
Yeah.
Like I was there for 4 hours. And they at the end of it, they were like, nah, we don't have a lot of money. Let's just do the game. Game shows, they wouldn't be that much money. And I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want to do a game show. I don't want to do a game show. My heart is with this series. I will figure out
Mhm.
how to make it work. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So, but the series is so cute, and we have a streamer that's interested in it, which is why we cannot show the whole series. Like that's why they only have the sneak peek up. But I'm gonna show it to you. I'll
Got
show you.
it. I'll check it out. We have Roku, so I'll check it out.
Please do,
But
please
but
do.
please
Please check out the sneak
send me the
peek.
screener as well. I would love
Um,
to. I'm excited. Yeah. No, but just to recap for people out there,
yeah,
so they
sorry.
can see can they see the episode 1 or
Not yet. So,
oh okay.
because there's a streamer that's interested, they don't want the episodes to be out until the negotiations are done because they
Okay.
might have exclusivity on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So we'll
don't.
keep
I'm
yeah,
not in those conversations. You know what I mean?
gotcha. So right
I'm
now we're rooting for you. So we're hoping that, things go well and that we'll get a chance to see it because we're very excited. We're happy for you. And are there other projects that maybe you can talk about that people can support? So we want to celebrate you and share your
so
work. Yeah.
I do have something that's making the festival rounds right now called Into the Void, which is like a spoken word piece
Hmm.
that's been winning awards. You know,
Congrats.
thank you. Yeah, I was nominated for best performance piece. I won this thing here for it, and it'll be at the Marala Film Festival. I think on the 22nd in Simi Valley. So, and it'll be at the Poppy Jasper Film Festival in the Bay Area. So, I don't know. It's like a 2-minute thing. It's like a 2-minute piece,
Wow.
but
So creative, so prolific. I was just saying how inspired I am of you for doing the work. You have been, you said it earlier too, that even in acting, you've been doing it since 2003. But for directing, filmmaking, um, maybe talk a little bit about how you got started and what made you
Alright.
pursue this path, right?
I got mad.
Yeah. Okay.
Got mad
Yeah.
because I was like, I got mad that, there weren't enough roles for
Mm,
Filipino women. Like the things that like I still auditioned for. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for all the things,
mhm.
right? I'm very grateful for all the roles that I've gotten and but it does not compare to somebody that is white in my age group. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
for a long time that, like I worked in a lot of casting offices. So I do a lot of things behind the scenes. Like that's how I learn. I don't have a formal education. I just work my butt off, right? Like I assist producers. I, volunteer my time at casting agencies. I have worked in
Mhm.
casting agencies. And I remember there was one time where it was a big thing that, ooh, they're opening it up. It's diverse now, right? Like they're opening it up to all ethnicities, right? For this one
Right.
particular role. And great that they did that, but you know who came to the callbacks for that? The 10 people that came to the callbacks for that? 7 white women, 1 black woman, 1 Hispanic woman, and 1 Asian woman. So
Wow.
that was
Yeah.
their diversity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
there were just like a lot of circumstances like that where I got mad, and then there was like another one where I had gotten this role, and this role was given to me from like this audition that I absolutely wrecked my heart and soul with, right? And because they had a white dude that had a name that was interested in it, they replaced me.
Mhm.
And I cried for a long time,
Yeah.
and I was like, I get it, I understand it, but it's also like, how are we supposed to move forward if we don't actually make the things? If we're
Mhm.
always like consistently like if we're always like asking and having our hand out for please hire me for these
Mhm.
roles, then things don't change. So
Yeah.
that's why I got into directing, because I got mad. And also because I had been coaching actors for I started my school in 2008, so for a very, very long time.
Wow. Yeah.
And my students, which a lot of them are kids because I look like this, right? Um, they're Emmy nominees, they're series regulars. Like I've had students that have like, like I teach adults too. Like my
Yeah.
adults have gotten, on their first roles as like on
Mhm.
like Never Have I Ever and like a lot of different. So I have a lot of success as a teacher and as an acting coach. So I know how to direct actors. So I had that going. And then I just
Yeah.
got mad that there weren't enough roles. So I started writing. And then I was like, oh, I'm winning awards. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I need to
So
keep doing. You know what
the
I
moral,
mean?
yeah, absolutely. I think the moral of the story is stay mad. No, no. I mean that is channeling that into something positive, right? And making a difference,
Exactly.
which is what and you did that, Gio. You did that. And I'm excited. Um, this has been really inspiring and just so fun to just chat with you. We don't do this.
I love your pictures with the chickens and children's book. You inspire me too because I love
Thank
that.
you.
I love that. And
I
so
I have,
yeah,
my I have a friend that suggested, why don't you post more chicken pictures, because like with the price of eggs and everything like that. I will think about it. I will probably do some videos or something. But it's interesting because for me it was really hard to just focus at the beginning of the year, and finally I'm able to kind of move into kind of what we're saying as well, right? Like channeling that into the creation, like our activism is our art. So it's
yeah.
hard to do it sometimes because we have all these things happening to us. I mean, I'm LGBTQ. They're like attacking gay marriage and all. There's
I I am queer too, just so
you
that you
are. Oh,
bi.
wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, like
Wow.
all of that stuff, like I feel it too, and I'm like, what the hell, like.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
you know
Absolutely. And that's why our very existence is political. If our
exactly.
rights and identities are being attacked, and what are we going to do? Just shut up?
Try it
Of
again.
course.
Yeah, I know exactly, and it's like
Yeah. I think I still keep up with what's going on. I try to limit my doom
Yeah.
scrolling sometimes.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
like it affects you. Like it
it
affects me
does.
so much, you
Yeah.
know?
So
So
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, but it's okay if different people have different ways of coping, right? And different stages as well. But I
Yes.
mean, we covered so much today. I we talked about your projects, we talked about your background, we talked about some lessons as well in terms of being a creative and in our Filipino community. Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you was some of your inspirations. Like is there any filmmaker or actor or actress that you admire? Their
You know
work.
what? Like, I mean, Sean Baker, of course, like he just
Yeah.
won the Oscar, and like I've been hearing, bad and good things, right? But like I am inspired by his work because he is such like a indie filmmaker. Like he made
Mm-hmm.
Tangerine about Black trans women at a time that
Mm-hmm.
nobody was telling stories about them in a very human way, with
Yep.
iPhones. I love that. And then he made the Florida Project, which was about a single mom and like living on the
Mm-hmm.
outskirts. It's just like that really got my heart as a single mom because I have been in those situations too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it tells the stories of like not like really the marginalized outsider community, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I am also inspired by Marinaire. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
saw what is it, Monsoon Wedding, there
Mm-hmm.
was that was just like such like a joyful, like beautiful, colorful film, but there was such like depth to it. I don't know. It's from a long time ago, but
A
Monsoon
long
Wedding,
time ago.
yeah, is like that hits me like really hard. There's a movie called Life is Beautiful,
Oh
which
yeah. Yep.
yeah, that's one of my tops. Like a lot, I feel like a lot of what I gravitate towards is like, okay, what is the magic of every day and
Mm-hmm.
how can we it's almost Delulu, Delulu
Right.
our way into a better world.
You know what? I am a proponent of the Lulu because it is the Lulu now, but then eventually, if you just keep doing the work, you know, we'll hopefully find an audience, and then we won't be the Lulu anymore, right?
And maybe like and I keep thinking about the thing of like what is that quote? To one person you may be the world, but you may be the world to one person. So
Hmm.
your story might have been the unlocking of some kind of like I see you and I feel you and I've been there and you can get through it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you just never know how much your
no.
work could impact another. Any
Um,
final thoughts, maybe things you want to share to other younger Filipinos, filmmakers out there? Any final message?
yeah, keep creating and don't let anybody dim your light.
Absolutely. That's well said. Beautifully said. Thank you, Gio. I appreciate you. And yes, I guess that's it for our podcast. I'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you for
Um,
creating space for this. Thank you
yeah,
for having me in creating space. So,
absolutely. Check out all those resources. I'll put it on the links. Thanks, Gio, for your time. More
you.
power to you. And thanks, everyone, for listening.